Do you know where the edge of the track is? Are you uncertain about how to find the edge of the track? Well, you're in luck because today you're going to find out. First, we'll watch the lap, then we'll analyze, pinpoint brake markers, apexes, edge of track, and other important things that you need to know to go fast. Welcome to Redbull Ring, where off tracks is the name of the game. So as we approach T1, the brake marker is going to be about the 100 board, about the 120 board. Brake early rather than late. We want to maximize exit speed here. There's a long straight that we want to take advantage of. As far as edge of track, we're looking at somewhere around the painted area. And in order to really get the specifics of where that off track is, well, you got to look at the middle of the car. And you got to compare that to the red and white curbing here. If the middle of the car passes the red and white curbing, then you're going to get an off track. As we approach the apex, we want to get on throttle as early as possible, preferably before the apex. And the apex is going to be here on the red and white painted curb. We want to avoid the yellow sausage curb as that's going to make the car hop and understeer. And then on exit, we want to find where is the edge of the track. And I can tell you the edge of the track here is with the left tires just barely on the red painted surface. Any more than that, and you're going to get an off track. The fastest way around this is to get on that red painted surface. But if you get on it incorrectly, then the rear can snap here. If the rear gets on it while it's rotating, then it's going to snap and you're going to lose a lot of time on exit. So the car must be straight. It's critical for a good exit. Same concept as we approach T2. We want to use all the track and it's the same principle. Find the middle of your car, compare it to that red and white curbing, and you should be safe. We want to brake fairly late for this corner, about the 120 board, so about 10 to 20 meters before the 100 board. And we want a very early turn in here because we want to take advantage of this camber that's here on the track. And we want to get the car pointed straight after the apex as early as possible. Similar concept to T1. We're going to be running over this red and white curbing. We're going to avoid the yellow sausage curb. Very important. The car is very traction limited here on exit. Going to want to hit traction control. It's up to you to really manage this throttle so that you don't hit this traction control very heavily. Are you noticing a trend? Yes. Edge of track, find the off track, and make sure you do not get an off track. We want to carry as much mid-apex speed out of this corner. And so in order to do that, we want to brake fairly conservatively here. As you can see, the brake markers between the 100 and the 150 board. So about the 150 board. The more comfortable you are on the brakes, the more you're going to be able to push this braking zone. But I can tell you that the more you push it, the more you're going to sacrifice on exit. So it's a give and take. If you're going for an overtake, of course, you're going to want to brake as late as possible. So definitely practice that. On a fairly early turn in before these curbs end here. And we're aiming to get on top of this red and white curbing, maybe even on the green part of the apex. As you can see, I just barely miss it here in terms of getting on this green stuff. You can, but if you just get on the red and white, it shouldn't impact your lap time too much. Most important thing is getting on throttle early and confidently, and not hitting the traction control and not having the rear of the car step out on you. So now on to the middle sector. Very fast corners. Want to make sure we trail brake quite a bit to get the car rotated and early on throttle. As far as brake marker, we're looking for about 75 board. So in between the 50 and the 100, there's some tire marks here that you can use in order to start braking. As you can see, right on the end of these tire marks is a good place to start braking. However, if you use this brake marker and there's someone right in front of you, it's going to be very hard to utilize. Therefore, it's better to just get a feel for when you are between the 50 and the 100 board. As we turn in here, the most important thing is to keep an eye. Your eye should be over here at the exit, because that's going to tell you when to get on throttle, because that's going to vary every single time. Every lap, that's going to matter based on how you rotated the car. Therefore, if you're not looking at the exit when you're close to this apex, then you're not going to be smooth and you're not going to be getting as much exit speed as you think you're getting. So keep your eyes on the exit. Same thing here. We're braking right as this green and red and white curb is ending. We want to be almost to the edge of the track here. And again, it's all about vision here and just watching for the exit. It's very easy to get caught up looking just at the apex. And then all of a sudden you're just late on throttle. And that's because you just were not paying attention to the exit. So keep your eyes focused over here. And I know you won't be able to see it that well. Let's see if we can go to cockpit view here. And you can't see it that well. You're almost picturing and visualizing in your mind what this looks like in order to hit that exit and know when to get on throttle. Now, onto a really tricky last sector where most people get the last corner wrong. As we approach, we want to be braking after the 100 board. Fairly early and light is what you want with the brake. Same principle as the other corners. Middle of the car, red and white curbing, or edge of track. Really important to get over this red and white curb and potentially even on the green. If you can get on the green, it's going to be even better. It's going to rotate the car nicely for the exit. So try to get on this green stuff over here. Really aim for the green. On throttle confidently. And the key thing is that your exit should lead you to the edge of the track. And here, the edge of the track is middle of the car, left side of the green curbing here. If your exit leads you to here, then you're underdriving the penultimate corner and you need to carry more speed because you don't want to have to drive the car manually to the left. Now, if you mess it up, of course, drive the car manually to the left so you can open up the last corner, but technically you're losing a lot of time if that happens. And that's where people get it wrong. They underdrive the penultimate corner, and instead of getting the car to the edge of the track, they just are complacent and they keep the car here. And so they're turning a tighter angle and making it more difficult for themselves. But you're not, because you found out here that the edge of the track is on the red stuff. And the more you open it up, the bigger your corner radius and the more speed you can take through that corner. Very late turn in here. And we're looking for this yellow sausage curb. And we want to run over it with our right side tires. just on the left part of that yellow curve. We don't want the whole thing because there's an off track there. There is a compression here. So you can get on throttle early. You don't feel the grip until you hit that compression, but you can get on throttle right before that compression. You just have to feel it out. You have to trust the car. In order to do this, though, you have to practice it. You're not going to be able to do this in race. You have to practice it prior. And that compression really helps with the grip and keeps the car tight and allows you to use as much exit as possible with the most amount of speed. Same principle here. Middle of the car, left of the green curbing for the off track. Be careful over here. You run too wide, then it will turn from an off track to a slowdown. And it's about a 1.5 second slowdown, depending on how far left you are. I think it can be even as much as 2 seconds. And that can really ruin your race. So having said that, I wish you guys good luck on the first week of GT Sprint here at Red Bull Ring. And I can almost guarantee that this will be the top car, the OP car, the Ferrari. So good luck to you guys.